crashed within the first 8 miles on his right side, hard on his right side. There's images of his shorts torn up, blood, his right hip, thigh, knee, elbow. He gets up and recovers, finishes second place behind Dave Weens. And if the following year, 2008, I had hip resurfacing, which was loose for 20 months, and then revised to a total hip replacement with a ceramic on ceramic bearing surface. So it's been quite an experience. Anyway, my hip in January turned 15, and the last 2.5 or so years, with experiences along the way, but specifically the last 2 to 3 years, something changed, and I thought I'd cracked something. Obviously not catastrophic. I was still able to walk, hobble, limp around, and even have normal days on top of it, but a lot of limping, a lot of discomfort, a lot of sounds, a lot of noises, a lot of sensations, which led to believing that, okay, I think I'd cracked my acetabular liner. And last November, thankfully, after a series of tests, finally seeing a surgeon, it was determined that everything is mechanically sound. So that, of course, that's a relief. At the same time, it wasn't a relief because of what I was experiencing. So I come from an athletic background, soccer playing, running, cycling, and cycling being a major part of my life, my last portion of my life, and how competing as well, and having to take large amounts of time off that. And some of the greatest forms of exercise, as you know, if you have a total hip replacement and being young, what like question marks about running? What can a person do? What can a young person do? Again, it doesn't pick your age. It's like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, and what are you capable of doing? And sometimes having a total hip replacement means leaving some things off the table. So anyway, I haven't tasted cycling competition in a long time. Something I had to become okay with. Anyway, just figuring out what I want to do with this channel. Figuring out, okay, what's my message? How do I want to make my dent in the universe? As fellow Canadian Rich Cooper would say. Because there's something here, and what am I? I'm 46 now, and having to remake a life still, after being taken down and having to rebuild, and being taken down and having to rebuild, and it's been exhausting, it's for sure. But I've learned a few things, and hopefully now's the time to start discussing those things, and maybe they can apply. You can take them and apply them to your own, or even if it's a sliver of encouragement, or if it's a lot, okay, then it's a good thing. So in November, I got the news, mechanically everything's fine, and then it became about, okay, then how can I start rebuilding again this time? One thing's for certain, weight management. I think something that if you whether it's you have a single hip replaced or a double, or any joint, especially in your lower body, weight is a big deal, and it's I think a lot of something we all know about. Even in fully functioning, everybody with their natural, that's still au naturel weight and joints, excess weight and joints, not a good equation. Great statement. Motion is lotion. It's an interesting thing about that with an artificial joint. And if you have multiple joints, it even makes it even more interesting. Certainly one thing I have struggled to do, and I still tried to do, is get back on my bicycle. I actually recently just had a catastrophic failure of my indoor trainer. I had started recording a couple sessions of just spinning, basic pedaling. The humor of it has forced me, of the humor of losing this tool that enabled me to start pedaling inside. At the same time, grateful for that, because being on the west coast of Canada, we had some snow. It doesn't get too cold, but cold enough, wet enough, but snow and ice. I come from having the ability, and what I used to train outside all year round, which is something I preferred, even when there was snow. But obviously having to take into consideration not wanting to fall or slip, or it's just, okay, that's not an option. So how to keep active when there's snow and ice on the ground. Okay, well, set up your bike indoors. And then my trainer went kaput, and now I'm back outside. And thankfully, it's starting to warm up. Base miles, it's March. Well, exactly, base miles for what? I don't know, but it's happening. So I think I'll leave it at that. Just, again, something I'll think about, obviously, when I'm pedaling. What do I want to do with this channel? I know I posted a personal video. Then I touched upon the Floyd Landis narrative. Or what would you say? So retired but banned professional racer, professional bike racer, came from the mountain bike world, entering into the road cycling world. Ended up having a fall that fractured his hip. I don't know exactly. I think it fractured from like the type of fracture. I'm sure there's terms. I think from the potentially the greater trochanter through the neck up to the femur head. I think on his right side as well. And I think he ended up getting some hardware screws put in to hold everything together as it healed. And I think that accident, his fall, took a simple fall, literally simple fall, while out training.
I mean, I fell all by myself. I don't crash very often. And I just made a mistake in training, and I hit some sand, and the front wheel slid out, and I fell really hard on my right hip. I've probably crashed 100 times in my life, and I've never broken anything, except for that. When I tried to move it, it was the most excruciating pain I'd ever felt. Nothing's ever hurt that bad in my entire life.
Led to avascular necrosis, and then which led to a hip resurfacing in September, I believe, in 2006. It's a fascinating story because if I remember right, not even 11 months later, post-op, with his Birmingham hip resurfacing device, he raced the Leadville Trail 100, crashed within the first 8 miles on his right side, hard on his right side. There's images of his shorts torn up, blood, his right hip, thigh, knee, elbow. He gets up and recovers, finishes second place behind Dave Weens. And if the following year, 2008, I think Lance Armstrong competed in 2008 and finished second behind Dave Weens, came back in 2009 and finished first. Speaking of which, so there's the Landis narrative in the video. It's the comment that he never even thinks, it's not even on his mind that he has his hip has been resurfaced, which is fascinating to me because right from day one, getting a resurfacing and the revision to a total hip replacement, it's consistently there. Anyway, leaving that behind, I do want to thank a special shout out to another YouTube channel, Sid and Macky. What can I say? So, sorry guys, can't remember where you're based out of, but an American couple who both of them race bikes, mountain bikes, and but checking out their content has helped in part get over the fear of eating for fuel. Well, yes, eating food for pleasure, but also for fuel. I think in part what can go hand in hand with cycling, competitive cycling, food disorders, eating disorders, eating disorders, and among men, among women. And they're saying they have T-shirts, merchandise, eating wins races.
If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that we love food. We love to eat. I love to cook, and we both truly believe that eating wins races and that it is possible to have a healthy, non-neurotic relationship with food.
It's brilliant. And seeing the fact that they consume calories and their results speak for themselves. So, and then also too, the idea that their content also helped me get back outside on my bike, which is a good thing because it's certainly gotten me pointed in a right and good direction. So thank you, Sid and Macky. I'm sure you'll come up again often. All right, time for a ride. Until next time.